And, of course, Rashid Khalidi is not the only radical that Barack Obama's associated himself with over the years, and you also have been kind of out there on the pointy end of the spear talking about William Ayers and Bernardine Dohrn to a lesser extent, perhaps. But William Ayers, and once again, the role of the news media in this campaign when it comes to Barack Obama's relationships over the years with Rashid Khalidi and William Ayers and Bernardine Dohrn and Father Flager and all of these other people is the news media doing its job? Are you getting a fair shake? The Republicans getting a fair shake this year?
I don't think that they're doing their job when they suggest that calling a candidate out on their record, their plans for this country, and their associations is mean-spirited or negative campaigning. If they convince enough voters that that is negative campaigning for me to call Barack Obama out on his associations, then I don't know what the future of our country would be in terms of First Amendment rights and our ability to ask questions without fear of attacks by the mainstream media. Look at Joe the Plumber, good old Joe the Plumber in Toledo, Ohio. He just asked a simple, straightforward question, and the media started investigating and attacking him. So, there is some fear there, and in those terms, no, I don't think that they've been doing their job in that kind of context.
Well, Barack Obama, I know you've been a busy person and everything, but Barack Obama came out, and I guess it was yesterday, and mocked the suggestion that his economic policies smack of socialism, or that what he's proposing is, in effect, a socialist economic model with redistribution of wealth and spreading the money around and all of the, not just Joe the Plumber, but the 2001 radio interview in Chicago and all of that. And he came on and he said, next they're going to accuse me of being a communist for sharing my peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the kindergarten. And not as imperious as Charles Gibson, perhaps, but fairly imperiously. And, he's going after this word socialism mockingly. When he talks about redistribution of wealth and spreading wealth around, is he talking about socialism?
Well, to Joe the Plumber, remember he said that sure suggests socialism. We're just thankful that at this point, just a few days before the election, people know finally in plain language what Barack Obama's intentions have been with his tax increase proposal. And that is, you take more from hardworking Americans, and then a politician gets to redistribute that according to their priorities. They do that type of thing in other countries. That would erode the uniquely American system of rewarding hard work and the entrepreneurial spirit that made this country the greatest country on earth. Mm-hmm. So you can label it whatever you want to label it, but I know at the end of the day, it's not good for the United States of America, for our families, for our businesses.
Now, you've obviously gotten the royal treatment from the so-called mainstream news media. And when I say royal, that's a euphemism because we're on the radio. Has it left you with a bad taste in your mouth? Do you have a sort of a new appreciation for what the world is like in Washington, D.C. after your experience with these guys?
Well, it's obvious, that I'm a Washington outsider, and perhaps that's been part of the issue here is that just being an outsider, it's sort of perplexing to me because I'm a practical person and plain spoken also, but just cutting to the chase and calling things like I see them, just like most Americans. But this has not left a bitter taste in my mouth, even the political shots taken by the mainstream media and by some of the elitism there in Washington. Mm-hmm. What this has left me with is a very energized and positive feeling about America, because there are enough Americans who are desiring the positive change that John McCain's going to usher in, getting the economy back on the right track by doing these practical, common sense conservative movements that must be made to let people keep more of what they earn and produce so that they can reinvest and hire more people in their businesses and to win the war. There are enough people out there, and we hear from them and we see them, that I have great faith that on Tuesday there will be no need to feel negative or downtrodden at all. I think we're going to be lifted up. Our nation will be lifted up because John McCain's going to be elected.
And I know I've got to let you go. One final thing, can I ask you to do a favor for me?
Sure.
From now on, when you sit down with these network news anchors, can you just kind of tap them on the knee as you're about to start and say, so who you voting for?
Yeah, maybe that just would say it all.
I'd like to get them on the record. I'd like to get them all on the record. So who you voting for?
I'm going to try that.
Do that for me.
See what happens when I try that.
I think it'd be a great deal of fun. It'd make the rest of this a lot more fun for me, at least. Anyway, Governor Sarah Palin, thank you very much. I'm standing at attention. I'm saluting you.
Okay,
and
Chris.
I appreciate you being here and looking forward to a victory on Tuesday. Are you glad you went on Saturday Night Live?
Heck yeah, that was fun. There's a lot of talent there. They were a hoot. But Chris, thank you so much for allowing us to speak to you and your listeners, and nothing but the best to you.
Thanks very much, Governor. Appreciate it.
Okay.